Okay, so I'll just start off from where we stopped last week. And bulk of what we'll be doing this week is hinged on prototyping, essentially. So I'm going to show us a few things on how to prototype. All right. So last week I talked on majorly the high fidelity wireframes and how to convert your low fidelity wireframe to high fidelity wireframe, how to apply some of the styles and things like that. And I remember I was talking about creating components as well, components and assets before our time ran out. So I'm just going to um, continue from there. So by the way, Balgis, I saw your work. This is yours, right? Balkis.
Stuff
Uh, I can't hear you properly. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Faith. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, Balkis. This is your work, and it's quite nice. It's quite impressive. Um, I like what you've done with the idea you came up with. Was there any particular platform you used as reference?
I love this, Bakis. Is this on Figma? Wow.
Yes.
Sir?
Is
Thank
it,
you.
is it, yeah, was there a particular platform you used as reference? Or you just did this on your own?
Thank you, ma'am.
There seems to be a time lag.
Wow. You brought your A game on. I need a link to this, please. I love it. What do you think, Faith?
I think it's awesome. It's quite impressive. Like I'm
Yes.
delighted to be seeing.
For the no. I actually got inspiration from various.
Okay. All right. This is great. This is great. This is awesome actually. Well done. I'm impressed. All right. So we've gone into prototyping right about now. So in the last class, we just came up with these frames, and just in a rush, I'm going to use the same frames to explain the idea of prototyping. So we've said any design you do in Figma or Sketch or any other design or prototyping software, as it were, um, still remains a wireframe until you add interactions to them. So it could be low fidelity wireframe, mid fidelity wireframe, or high fidelity wireframe. But until you add interaction, when you add interaction, it's when it becomes a prototype. And with the prototype, you can do quite a number of things. In fact, I do testing. Because the flow you'd have created with the design would allow people to be able to picture how the eventual product will look like, and they can even run through the design with your prototype. I would also say that you can download Figma's mobile app think it's called Figma Mirror on Play Store. I think it should be the same on um, Apple's is it App Store now. So you can check it at Figma Mirror. So when you design, especially for mobile interface, you can view the prototype directly on your mobile phone on Figma Mirror. So it helps you to have a better picture, better understanding of what you've created. If it looks good, really, and then you can make corrections or just move on if it's okay by you. So I dive right into it. Now we're going to just add interactions to, and I hope that I'm assuming that I'm likely going to get questions as I go on, and generally questions from whatever we've learned so far also. So now I said adding interactions is what makes your design a prototype. Now I'm going to start from the first frame, which we've called the splash screen. Usually when you launch a mobile app, for instance, so I'm just still going to use the mobile app interface. Um, when you launch a mobile app, say your Facebook or in fact any mobile app for that matter, what you get to see first of all is the splash screen that displays probably just the company's logo or the product's brand identity, and after probably some seconds you see that screen fade into maybe the landing page or whatever page comes next. Sorry, excuse me. And in this case, it's going to be the onboarding page. It's going to be the onboarding page that we've created. So now I'm going to start. Now, we've been on the design tab since we started designing. Now I'm going to be switching to the prototype tab. And that's what's here. Now, the moment I selected on the prototype tab, now because I'm on this splash screen, you see some nodes, or you see a node basically pop up on the side of this frame that we've been working on. Now, when it comes to prototyping, you can prototype from frame to frame, that is pages to pages, and you can also prototype element to element, basically. Now, so in this case, what the first thing I'm doing is linking. So when the idea of prototype is just linking pages or linking elements or linking, creating a flow of how your product should basically operate. So this time around, what I'm simply doing is I'm linking to this frame. When you see that node or that dot, that circle, you simply just click on it, and then you see a wire that comes out like a connector, and you simply just add it to where you're going, which in this case is the next frame, which called the onboarding page too. Now, you then see something pop up. You see a small window that comes up. It says interaction details. Now, that is where we then set the way we want the interaction, to behave. This time around, we have to understand the way the product has been designed as well. In this case, there's no button on this frame. So we cannot use the on tap interaction, for instance, here, because there is actually no button for that purpose. We can then consider other options. If we say on drag, yeah, that means something like swiping, the screen. But in this case, still users might not get, to understand, because there is no pointer to, or there is no arrow or something that suggests to the user that there is something, coming next. We cannot use while hovering because we're not on a desktop. We cannot use while pressing as well because we don't have a button or something. The same for all of these. Now, this understanding of what these interactions do will help us, create better prototypes. In this case, I would say the after delay option works best. After delay, what does that mean? That means after a few, seconds, the frame links just automatically goes to the next frame by itself after a few seconds. And for this, we'll set 800 milliseconds. I think 800 milliseconds still sounds nice, or I could probably increase it to say about 1200 milliseconds. And after counting down to after counting down from 1200 milliseconds to zero, it simply switches the frame and comes to the next onboarding page. Now, the next thing on that pop-up window is the animation. Now, the animation just talks about the style, transition, basically the style of transition, how it is transitioning from one page to the other. How do you want it? Do you want it to be instant? Sometimes instant will be best. It's just sharp, something that goes up. We have other options there: dissolve, smart animate, move in, move out, and the rest of them. In this case, I'll probably just use dissolve. So when you dissolve something in water, for instance, how that feels. Then you can set the time for that as well, because it's an animation. That means it has something to do with time. So you can set the animation time as well. I'd normally say 300 milliseconds is okay, but from experience, I've found that sometimes about 500 milliseconds is perfect. So I'm going to use about 500 milliseconds this time around. Yes. And then out whenever you want to view your prototype as you're working, there's this button at the top of your Figma screen here that says present. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on that button, and then it's going to load the present screen for me. Also, mind you, you can use Figma also to present slides, like you'd use your PowerPoint and Google Slides. You can use Figma to present as well. So what's going on? Something doesn't seem right. Okay, I still loading. Okay. While it's still loading, I'll just come back to where we were. Wow. Okay. It's a jacked boot windows. Okay. Wow. Just excuse me for a moment. I think I need to close some tabs. I think I'm running out of space. Just a moment, please.
Faith, what are we doing?
Okay. I'm back now.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Oh wow. I don't know what's going on.
Your Figma is not loading.
Yes, just stops loading. Wow. Okay. Sorry, please let me just close a few things. I suppose my browser is quite loaded.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll just close a few things, please. So permit me to stop sharing for a moment, please. And while I close some things.
Okay, in the meantime, Temitope, do you have any information for the delegates? Is there anything that you want to share? Because I know you were meant to send something out. And welcome everybody. I noticed some of us kind of sneaked in a little bit, but that's fine. Temitope, do you have anything to share? We've looked at Barkey's Figma board is amazing. I don't know if we actually were able to see that, we've captured in the replay, so it will be there. So she created like a website on the Figma board. Barkey, do you want to share that whilst Faith is sorting out his system? Do you have a laptop available?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Maybe
I'll make you co-host now. It looks like a real website. It's really nice.